let's continue with the explanation. We were doing this slide. So what is the percentage of oxygen and carbon dioxide in inhaled and exhaled air? So in inhaled air, the percentage of oxygen is 21%. That means we inhale 21% oxygen, and in the exhaled air, it is only 16.4% oxygen. Okay. And in the inhaled air, carbon dioxide also we inhale, but in very less quantity, 0.04%. But in exhaled air, it is 4.4% carbon dioxide. Okay, because we know that air is a mixture of several gases, right? Air is a mixture of several gases. So, whenever we are inhaling, together with oxygen, carbon dioxide is also going inside our body because it is a mixture of gases. But the percentage is less. Okay, but in exhaled air, it is more. And in inhaled air, percentage of oxygen is also less. And in exhaled air, it is more, and in exhaled air it is less. Okay. Now, breathing in other animals. How do other animals breathe? Animals such as elephants, lions, cows, goats, frogs, lizards, snakes, birds have lungs in their chest cavities like human beings. Okay. Now, many animals are having lungs in their chest cavities. Some they don't have lungs, so they breathe through their skin. Some they breathe through their gills. Okay. Most of the animals have lungs for breathing. Okay. Now let's study the first animal, that is cockroach. A cockroach has small openings on the sides of its body. Other insects also have similar openings. These openings are called spiracles. Question can come, what is spiracle? Okay. Now cockroach, when you look at the cockroach, you cannot see the openings because the openings are very, very small. Okay, they are very, very small. So you cannot see them. But they are very, very small openings are there on the side of their body, and these openings, they are called spiracles. Okay. Insects have a network of air tubes called tracheae for gas exchange. Oxygen-rich air rushes through the spiracles into the tracheal tubes, diffuses into the body tissue, and reaches every cell of the body. Now, insects, they have a network of air tubes. Okay, these network of air tubes are called trachea. Okay, so they have a network of air tubes called trachea for gas exchange. Now, oxygen-rich air rushes through the spiracles into the tracheal tubes, diffuses into the body tissue. Now, oxygen, what happens? They rushes through the spiracles, means those openings, and these openings are linked to the trachea, the tracheal system. Okay, so what happens? Oxygen rushes through the openings, that is the spiracles, goes into the tracheal system, diffuses into the body tissue because the tracheal system is connected to the tissues of the body. Okay, and reaches to every cell of the body. Okay, that means the openings are connected to the trachea, like air goes in through our nose. Okay, through the nasal cavity. Now, nasal cavity is connected to the windpipe or not? To the trachea or not? Yes. Similarly, in case of cockroach also, the small openings called spiracles, they are connected to the trachea. Okay, so these trachea are connected to the cells of the body. So what happens? Through the spiracles, the gas enters the body, it goes through the trachea, and from the trachea it goes to each and every cell of the body. Similarly, carbon dioxide from the cells goes into the tracheal tubes and moves out through the spiracles. Now, carbon dioxide from the cell goes to the trachea and moves out of the spiracles. Like in our case, carbon dioxide goes from the lungs through the trachea, through our nose. It goes out, isn't it? Similarly, here also, carbon dioxide from the cells goes to the trachea and moves out from the spiracles. That means oxygen enters through the spiracles and carbon dioxide goes out through the spiracles. Like our nose, oxygen enters through our nose and carbon dioxide goes out of our nose. Okay, the same thing. Yeah. So these air tubes or trachea are found only in insects and not in any other animals. Now, in any other animals, you don't have these air tubes, okay, or trachea. Okay, so we have trachea, but our trachea is quite broad. Okay, and we have only one trachea, okay, which branches into many tracheae, okay, or tracheoles. Okay, but in case of insects, they have many trachea. They have a network of trachea. So these are all trachea. Can you see? These are all the network that you see here. These are trachea actually. And spiracles are found here. okay, on the sides of the body, up as well as down. So spiracles are found here, and these spiracles are connected to this network of tubes. These network of tubes are called trachea or the tracheal system. Okay, the whole body is covered, you can see. Okay, but in our case, the whole body is not covered. We only have our respiratory system where we have the trachea. Okay, and these trachea are again divided into bronchi, then bronchi is divided into bronchioles. Okay, so all these things you will study in higher classes. Okay, but in insects it is quite unique, as you can see. Okay, yeah. So next we come to earthworm. Earthworms breathe through their skin. The skin of an earthworm feels moist and slimy on touching. Now earthworms, they breathe through their skin because they don't have lungs for breathing. Okay, they breathe through their skin, and when you touch the earthworm, first thing, I don't know how many of you have touched an earthworm. Okay, because when you touch it, you will find it is quite slippery, quite slimy, because the skin, it remains moist. Okay, gases can easily pass through them. Though frogs have a pair of lungs like human beings, they also can breathe through their skin, which is moist and slippery. Now, through the skin of the earthworm, they have certain holes or pores. So through these pores, gaseous exchange takes place. Oxygen goes inside, carbon dioxide comes out, okay, through the pores in the skin. Now frogs, we know, frogs have a different mechanism. Frogs are called what? Amphibians, if you remember. Okay, now amphibians, they have both lungs as well as skin for breathing. Okay, so when they are under the water, they use their skin for breathing, and when they are on the land, they use their lungs for breathing. Okay, am I clear? So that is why the skin of the frog is also quite moist and slippery. Okay, now we come to breathing underwater. Gills in fish help them to use oxygen dissolved in water. So we know in case of fish, they breathe through their gills. Okay, and gills help them to use the oxygen that is dissolved in water. So gills are projections of the skin. You may wonder how gills help in breathing. Gills are well supplied with blood vessels. Okay, now gills, they have lots and lots of blood vessels. What are blood vessels? You will study later. We have three types of blood vessels: arteries, veins and capillaries. I think you must have heard about veins in human beings. Okay, so they are also a type of blood vessel. Similarly, fishes, they also have blood vessels. Okay, now gills, they have completely supplied with blood vessels. That is why gills are always red in color, because we know that blood vessels are the passages through which blood flows. Okay, and through the gills of the fish, blood flows, and blood is flowing means what? Blood contains oxygen, so oxygen is flowing through the gills. Okay, because why oxygen is flowing through the gills? Because gills are the places through which the fishes breathe. So definitely gills will be rich in oxygen. Okay. Yes, so these are the gills of the fish, as you can see. Okay, so these actually are what, when you cut a fish or when you buy a fish from the market, you can see when the fish is getting cut, in this portion you have the gills. Okay, so when you remove this portion, you will see red blood. Okay, in this portion, because these are the blood gills, and normally we don't eat the gills, we cut them. Okay, gills are not eaten in case of fish. Okay, we just cutted them, we remove them, and when you cut them, you can see that they are red in color because they are richly supplied with blood vessels. Okay, there is oxygen. Okay, it is completely filled up with oxygen. Got it? Now it is just located near the head of the fish. Okay, and this helps in breathing. That means the oxygen goes in through the gills into the body of the fish, and carbon dioxide comes out from the gills. So why gills are used in fish? Because we know that fish is always remaining underwater. Okay, since fish always remains underwater, that is why it has to breathe oxygen along with the water. That is, water also will go inside the body of the fish along with oxygen, because we know that oxygen is dissolved in water, and aquatic animals, they take oxygen which is mixed in water. Got it? So definitely together with the oxygen, water will also go inside the body of the fish. So if the fish breathes through its nose or nasal cavity, then it may get choked. Okay, so gills can filter the oxygen and take inside the body and release the excess water out. So that is why gills are used, because gills can take out the excess water and it can only filter the oxygen that will go inside the body of the fish. Okay, so that is why gills are most conveniently used in fish or any other aquatic animals for breathing. Okay, so that's all I have to explain for today. Okay, so we'll continue with the explanation in the next class. Thank you.